and I was on the road. I was on that Greyhound.
Oh
It was a
yeah,
lot of Amish people on the Greyhound,
yeah.
and I didn't think they could use technology like that. So I was
O-
very confused the whole
Okay,
6 hours.
wait. Time out,
Yes.
time out, time out, time out, time out. Because I was backstory. We just recorded after, before this, but I couldn't ask you this yet.
Yeah.
Walk us through the Greyhound story because apparently you had a terrible
Bro.
time. Was this on the day of the birthday?
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm to hear more.
Patrick Cloud.
And this is another episode of Damn Internet, You Scary.
What
We are
up? We
back.
live.
Just celebrated my birthday, man. Shout out to everybody that sent me birthday love. I appreciate y'all. I tried to respond back to everybody that text, called, and sent messages on Instagram. I wish Facebook has this thing now where they're trying to make it so people's deceased people's pages can still kind of engage with people.
Huh?
And I just really want them to come out with like a birthday thing that's like, hey, this is the birthday post. You can comment under here. So all of
Yeah.
them are in one place. I want that for Instagram and Facebook, bro. Cause like I get messages and then somebody make a post and then I get the tags from people tagging in that post. Like
Oh
just give me
my
one.
god.
Just give me one. Cause I'm not a real big birthday person, but when people take it upon themselves and dedicate their time to wish me happy birthday, I do try to respond back because I do
Mhm.
appreciate the effort. But it was a lot, bro. It was a lot, and I was on the road. I was on that Greyhound.
Oh
It was a
yeah,
lot of Amish people on the Greyhound,
yeah.
and I didn't think they could use technology like that. So I was
O-
very confused the whole
okay,
six hours.
wait. Time out,
Yes.
time out, time out, time out, time out. Because I was backstory. We just recorded after, before this, but I couldn't ask you this yet.
Yeah.
Walk us through the Greyhound story because apparently you had a terrible
Bro,
time. Was this on the day of the birthday?
this is on my birthday.
Okay.
So let me give you like the last week and a half, 2 weeks of my birthday. I mean, of my life. I fly to St. Louis on the 14th. Have to do a show that night. Do
Okay.
that show. The next day, Sunday, the 15th, uh, do a show that night. And I'm in St. Louis for a couple of days. Then I have to fly back to LA to film Abbott on Friday. I film Abbott that Friday. I get a phone call from a good friend of mine who's a director, tells me the auditions for this thing. Cool, I'm gonna do that. That night, that Friday night, 10:40, I catch a flight to New York. Fly to New York for Saturday to do a show. Great show, sold out, amazing. Get a winter storm. I fly out at 6 a.m. the next morning, Sunday, to go to Detroit to do a show. Just beat the storm, have a great time in Detroit. Cool. After Detroit, fly back to St. Louis. I'm in St. Louis for a couple of days doing some work and a couple of projects. And I fly back to LA on Saturday to do two shows and host a party. Sunday, I leave for a cruise. That's March 1st.
Hmm.
Leave for a cruise, go down to Ensenada for a couple days at sea, come back on Thursday, unpack, repack, leave out Friday morning to go to Columbus, Ohio. Now, my plan was I was supposed to do Columbus, Ohio on Friday, Louisville, Kentucky on Saturday, and Sunday I was going to do Chattanooga. Chattanooga, I hit my management up a couple times, like, yo, the tickets aren't moving, tickets aren't moving. They got nervous and it felt like they wanted to cancel. So I just went ahead and canceled. And my manager was like, you want to cancel or reschedule? I was like, cancel it. They don't believe in the kid. It's all good. We'll figure it out. So boom, cancel that. So now I just got to do Columbus, Ohio, and Louisville, Kentucky. Fly to Columbus, Ohio. Right, both flights delayed. I'm like, this sucks. I might have to mess around and go straight to the venue when I land. I had the night before I flew out, I was looking for a rental car because my plan was to catch a rental car and drive to each one of these cities.
What day was this?
This is Friday.
Okay.
This is March 6th.
Okay.
I look for rental cars on the 5th. They're talking about 145 a day
Damn.
because I will be getting it from one location, dropping off in another city or state. So I'm like, well, I'm not paying $300 for a rental car for 2 days. That's insane, right? So I go and I look up flights. Maybe I can get a cheap one way Spirit. It don't matter, right? $381 was the cheapest available flight. $400. So I look up my options, and only thing available is Greyhound. 6 hour bus ride. Had to be at the bus stop at 5:30 in the morning. Now, mind you,
Wait, how long was the flight though?
flight probably was like an hour and a half, if that.
Damn.
But mind you, I was
Damn.
out partying the night before because we had a
Yeah.
great show. So we turned it up, right? The 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 bus stop, my boy, was literally just just a bench and an awning. There wasn't a Greyhound station. It was
Hmm.
a Greyhound stop that's literally just a bench and the awning at five. I dropped off at 5 in the morning, 5 a.m. in Columbus, Ohio, and these zombies are out. The zombies are out, right? And
What
I got my big suitcase with my merch in there and my
what
my,
do you
my
mean
travel bag,
zombies?
nigga. The wanderers of the night, all the
Oh,
ones that you can imagine, are out.
that seems
They
late.
are out
5? Damn.
because it's still dark. So daylight savings didn't kick in until the next day. So it's still dark. It's dark as fuck, right?
Shit.
Bus comes, get on the bus. I immediately noticed there's hella Amish people. I'm like, I thought y'all couldn't fuck with this technology like that, bro.
Buses?
Yeah, I thought it was just all horse and carriage,
Well, it's Friday, it wasn't Saturday. I feel like you can't do that shit on Saturday. They had to get somewhere before Saturday.
bro. It was phones going off, and I'm watching them watch videos, and I'm like, y'all got Instagram? You niggas be
Oh,
capping, bro. You did.
damn.
Babies crying, all types of shit, bro. And I had more. I didn't. I think there was a bathroom on there. I never got up. I never got out of my seat.
Was the
I
seats
wouldn't.
comfortable at least?
No, no. Here's the crazy thing. So the seat, goddamn me, it only reclined a little bit. Like it's this as far back as I can go.
Yeah,
But they had a headrest that had two protruding like pillows. So
yeah.
like it was supposed to hold your head in place. But if you wanted to lean on a window, this was kind of blocking it. So it pushed your head forward. So I couldn't even recline to lean back. I had to
Right.
recline the seat and then sit forward and then lean on the window like that. It was just a lot. But got to Louisville, Kentucky, got picked up,
six
went to the
hours.
airport.
Did they
Six.
did they serve lunch? Did they stop for food or anything?
Bro, somebody around me cat farting, and I couldn't prove it, but it smelled like the farts were getting wetter. And I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain that revelation, but it's like, oh, he finna shit in a minute. Because these went from dry to moist
Did you
real
have to sit
fast.
next to somebody?
No, look, I paid extra to not sit next to somebody.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I've only heard horrible things about Greyhounds. Was it
Yeah.
dirty? Was it a dirty bus?
I got on so late that I couldn't really see, but I saw like, scattered stuff from people eating on the floor and stuff like that. Halfway through the trip, though, we did stop at a Greyhound station. Everybody had to get off the bus, and then they cleaned the bus for like 20 minutes.
Oh,
And then
good.
we get back on, and then we finish the trip.
Do you know how nasty of a environment you have to have these power wash sessions?
Bro,
The niggas probably dealt with the worst shit to have a little
bro,
clean session mid trip.
you know what? The craziest thing about this, when you were chasing like a dream, like comedy, and you find yourself in one of these weekends, you really start to question, like, am I forcing this? Like, am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I traveled with Kev and Tony. We didn't take first class trips, and we didn't flew across the country. We flew out of the country. Stay in 5-star hotels. When I do this on my own, I'm on a Greyhound. Am I forcing this? But on that same wavelength, I had to remind myself, it was like when you tell the universe you're ready for the next level. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like when you proclaim, hey, I'm ready to do this on my own. I'm ready to like, grow my fan base, grow my subscribers, my followership. The universe is gonna test you.
mhm,
And this was really a test, and not even a test. This was just a display of humility, like what you're willing to do to make it happen. I could
yeah,
have paid the 300 for the car. I could have paid the 400 for the flight. It didn't seem financially it didn't seem economically sound. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take this option right here because it's gonna get me there. Yeah, it's not the most glamorous, but I'm still gonna be able to get there in enough time. I don't have to worry, like buses don't be breaking down like that. They really don't be delayed. So honestly, like I probably had more luck and better timing with the bus than I did with a flight or something like that. And because I was on the bus, I was able to get 6 hours of sleep or the better part of like 5 hours of sleep because I'm not having to drive. And I don't have to get off and change planes or any of that type of stuff. So when you look at it, step back and like take your ego out of it, yeah,
Yeah.
I had to deal with some smells. Okay, cool. I put a little cologne on my finger and I wiped the bottom of my nose and now I smell that for the next 3 hours
Is that
for me to
really
get
what you
around it.
did?
Hell yes. I do that
That's a
shit on
good.
planes too.
Interesting.
Yeah, just put it right around the mustache part right there. If you don't have sensitive skin, it should be fine. But bro, like when you're grinding, you be like, fuck, I just got to do what I got to do, bro. I got to get in there. This is
Yeah.
this is the requirement. This is what's required of me. And honestly, like I think this was my first time taking a Greyhound, but like my mom has taken Greyhounds before, and if my mom is strong enough to do that, she can press through, she can make that shit happen. And like, who am I to like bitch out? I'm like, I can't.
For
Like
sure.
my mom was a gangster, man. And speaking of my mom and highlighting all the women, want to give all the women a big shout out because we're taking a moment to celebrate the women and all that they carry at work, at home, in relationships, in families, the many roles that you all carry on every day. I want to say, the podcast wants to say, and BetterHelp wants to say, thank you. All right. We are definitely appreciating and acknowledging and lifting up all the women in the world this episode and going forward, man. Honestly, every day should be Women's Appreciation Day, man. Shout out to all the women, man. Just want to let you know that this episode is sponsored in part by BetterHelp. And on this episode, I want to thank you. The podcast wants to thank you, and BetterHelp wants to thank you and lift you guys up and let you know that you are amazing for all the work that you do and work and relationships and families and all the many hats that you carry throughout the day. We want to say thank you. Want to take a moment to celebrate the women in our life who have had a lasting and memorable impact on us. For me, my mom was, I mean, she did it all. We lived in one state. She worked in another state. She made sure I went to school in that state. So, in her eyes, I would get the better education, but also I could be close to her in case something happened. My mom went to bat for me. My mom protected me. She ensured my success by pushing for me to get into math and science and technology schools, making sure that I was part of musical programming and band and marching and concert band. She wouldn't let me play tennis. And for a very long time throughout my childhood, I was very upset that I couldn't play football or basketball. But because my asthma, she was worried about me playing contact sports. But because I played tennis and I had private lessons from like seventh grade until when I got to high school, I was automatically on the tennis team. And when I went to college, they didn't even have a tennis team, but I told them I had played, and they said if I get enough people and find a coach, then they would give me a scholarship. And that's what they did. But this was all because my mom saw something in me and fought for it and encouraged me and loved on me. So shout out to my mom, man. Women, you guys deal with a lot. It's crazy to think that women were it wasn't that long ago that women couldn't have their own bank accounts. Like men had to co-sign for a woman to have her own bank account or her own credit card or the right to vote. So all the things that women have had to endure, I just want you to know I see you. I appreciate you. BetterHelp sees you. They appreciate you. They're encouraging you. They are also encouraging you to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health. Your emotional well-being matters. And you can find support. I mean, feel lighter in finding support in therapy. So we always want to encourage you guys because there's no wrong time to sign up for therapy. If you sign up right now to get help at BetterHelp, you get 10% off at betterhelp.com/DIYS. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DIYS. And we thank y'all as always. Hippie, I don't
Shout out
know
to
if that
Better.
one works. Well, we can cut all of the beginning part out and then start at the other part. Oh, we're not live, right? Are we live? I can't tell because I'm not
I
signed
can't
in.
tell because our comments. I can't see any comments.
Yeah, I'm not logged in on this one, so we might be, but I don't know. Because I think she said, well, yeah, I'm going to go live.
We are
So
live.
shout
We
out to the
are
people
live.
that are watching it over your live. Okay, cool.
We are absolutely live.
I'm not signed
Hi
in. I
guys.
just clicked the link. So, it is what it is. But Yeah, man, we got some cool little icebreakers and stuff like that. Shout out to Hippie for finding these icebreakers.
Let's
Would
do it.
you fake your own death to start over?
Start over like new name and
New
everything.
name, no bills, new credit score, in friendship, relationships, all of that.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Absolutely not. That'd be crazy. I feel like that. Yeah, that would be crazy. I don't. Yeah, I don't see because I feel like spent the
Hmm.
best part of 15 years building a pretty good brand. So
Hmm.
I kind of like everything that I'm working on. I feel like the last maybe half year has been kind of like just cutting out everything else and just like trying to focus. So I would
Yeah.
definitely not fake my own death.
Man, you know what's crazy? It's like I remember when that tax shit first happened, and I was like, man, I wonder where I can go to just start over again.
The
But
tax, you said the
now,
tax shit.
yeah, that tax shit. But
Hmm.
now it's like, I don't know. Like it's weird. I really have been motivated by just advancing and just finding like the real goal of all the things that I'm doing and why I want to do it, and not let money be the motivator and the driving force behind it. And
Yeah,
since I've been moving with that mindset and like really engaging, not just like thinking about it, but like really engaging with that, like even with this weekend, like those shows are cool, but they ain't gonna take care of like the next 3 months, anything like that. They're gonna pay some
yeah,
bills this month and next month. But once I started moving with that mindset, like, no, this is what it takes to get to that next level and grow the following and the support groups and all of that type of stuff. Things have just been working out. Like I didn't even think about a Greyhound initially. I just was like, well, I'm not gonna freak out about this costing this much and this costing this much. I'm gonna just find a way. And then
yeah,
literally like 2 seconds later, the Greyhound thing popped in my mind. I checked it. It was like $64. I was like, all right, well, give me that. I'll push
yeah,
through. And now with that mindset, when I think about the tax thing, it's like, well, fuck it, it's just money. As long as I'm paying them something, eventually I'm gonna get a check where I'm able to take care of all of that. And now I know going forward how to handle so I never find myself in a situation again.
hmm
But now everything just seems a lot more achievable, and plausible now, just moving with a different mindset, bro.
yeah. I mean, and it's also like a really good story too, because I think that it's important to experience both sides of things. I remember Steve Harvey said like everybody should at least one time in their life save up to fly first class one time in their life. And then once
Hmm.
once they're experienced to that, they almost something awakens in them to maybe want to work harder to achieve that. And then when you get used to that and then you take a step backwards sometimes and it almost makes you appreciate,
Hmm.
like the other thing. So I think that like that's dope that uh what sounds like a horrible experience can be like something that you could think about when you are in those first class scenarios because you'd be like, yeah, this is crazy. I remember I took a Greyhound, makes the story that much more interesting.
Yeah, man, it's different, man. And like we all grew up hearing you got to have the rainy days to make the sunny days special, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but like applying that to different things in your life sometimes takes a little work for you to understand how this bad month or this bad year is setting you up for 5 good years, or just putting you on the right track because you needed to lock in, and you weren't going to be able to lock in if everything was going right this year. But because you don't have outlets, you can't go
Mm.
here, you can't afford to go here, you got to just lock in. Now you're able to prepare for those next opportunities, and you're ready to knock them out the park when they approach because you're locked in. So
Mhm.
last year was probably one of the most difficult years of my life,
Really?
hands down.
Hmm.
Hands down. But this year started off like so different, and I really attribute it to just the different mindset that I'm in, therapy, shaving off a lot of people and behavior from my life. Like, me, I used to kick it, baby. We go to
Yeah.
Blind Barber or something like that. I'm buying drinks, I'm having a good time. That
Yeah.
shit, no, I'm not doing all that because
Hmm.
people start to expect that from you. You know what I'm saying? And
Huh.
they just hang around, just wait for you to get them a drink and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't even need to be here. Like this drinking ain't helping right now. Not where my weight goes. I'm trying to, what I'm saying, I want to take my
Yeah.
shirt off. This ain't helping. So And then I also started looking at the people that I admire and aspire to get to a certain level of success where they are, like a Kev and a Tony. And I did an inventory and also just looked at a comparison of what they were doing versus what I wasn't doing, and vice versa. They weren't going out partying 2, 3 times a week.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't spending X amount of dollars at the bar. They not trying to make every comedy show. They turn down a lot of stuff. And so I started, adjusting my lifestyle to kind of mimic more of their good behavior. So I could just encourage those positive things to come my way and just be ready when they do approach. So, a lot of that made a difference too. I'm not gonna hold you. Made a big difference.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Party to hear era is over.
It's over, man. And I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't even looking forward to going back. I've been having a good time, like staying focused because I've been so busy with the things that I really want to do. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything.
Yeah.
So I've been chilling, bro. Yeah, I mean, shit. Yeah, honestly, you ain't been smoking. You've been going to the gym. You walking around in Missy Maya shorts. You doing the. All right, man. Let's jump into this next whatchamacallit before we jump into the topics. Here we go. Ooh. Would you rather survive on a deserted island alone or with someone you hate?
You got to go with someone you hate, right? Because
Do you?
I think so because of the workload. You ever be watching them survival shows?
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you know how to do a lot of that shit, but I feel like when it comes to like chopping wood, like
Hmm.
if survival, first of all, I don't hate anybody that much, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So more than likely they don't like me for some stupid reason. So I feel like we can get past that. And then when it comes down to like, oh, we both in this bitch together, we about to die, I think that you could put pretty much anything to the side and work together. Or if you can't, different, you can have a whole side of the island, you know, and then we, you
Yeah.
know, I feel like whatever was making us upset back in civilization
Kind of goes
wouldn't
out the window. It's not
really
as
matter. Yeah.
so. Hit me just put on the screen like, what if the other person is lazy though?
And that's why you don't like them.
Mm.
Damn, because then that's just another. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be, but it's just
So
another
then
person.
that's just somebody you taking care of. I was watching one of the episodes of Naked and Afraid. I think it was Exhale, and they were
Mhm.
in this like extreme part of Africa. And this guy on the first day got lightheaded and dizzy, and he had to like take the rest of the day off, and then he couldn't help with the shelter, and the next day he was still kind of woozy, and he couldn't even go get the water. And then when he was feeling better, he only wanted to do what he wanted to do. He was like, oh, I'm gonna go hunt with my bow and arrow. Came back empty handed and then came back with like, oh, I'm feeling bad again. I need to go lay back down. And eventually he tapped out because he was like,
Yeah,
I'm holding y'all down. But for like 3 days, he did nothing. You know what I mean? So you
I
could
saw
get one
that.
of those
Yeah,
partners. I
yeah,
just feel like
that's where.
being alone is a better story at the bar. Being alone guarantees you the book deal when you get back.
Yeah, yeah, and it could be a better story than it really
That's
was.
what I'm saying, bro. It's the better story.
Niggas
It's the
fighting
book
fought a tiger.
deal. Bro, you get to do the press run by yourself. Hey man, listen, I get it. Like you made a lot of good points with the chopping wood and looking for food, but imagine this person hasn't been doing any work and you catch a fish and it's not a big fish,
Yeah,
but now you got to share that small fish with somebody that ain't really been carrying that work. Because you don't want to
yeah,
be an asshole and like people's lives on the line, but at the
right.
same time, this person ain't doing nothing. Versus you being alone, and you catch that fish and you get to enjoy the whole thing by yourself.
No, I think you're right. I think alone is better because now I'm thinking of like the team survival shows, and it's never like perfect synergy. It's very rare. There's always somebody overeating or underworking
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
it might just be nice to be alone, you know, like
Yeah.
it might like because that's like the truest form of being out there in nature. It's not like camping or glamping, you know, that's like for real.
Yeah, man.
Do you
Yeah,
do you
man.
think that you kind of like have it mapped out what you would do in a scenario like that?
Of course, but that goes back to Mike Tyson's quote: "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I think, in this situation, I'm gonna set up shelter close to water, not too close, because I don't want to be around the animals and all that type of stuff. But on that first day, I've seen so many of those survival shows where people hurt themselves on the first day building their shelter with
Yeah,
the tool that they have. They
yeah.
slice their hand open or something like that, or their foot, and they're just out for the rest of the time, or they have to tap out. So I think I would be okay, but I don't know. Like, I know how to fish. I know how to set a couple of traps. I know how to start fire.
You know how to
I
set
don't know how to.
traps
Yeah, I mean, just when like
like
watching
snares
the
or
stuff. Yeah, like just small snares and stuff like that, and then like
hmm.
the trio. I don't know how to do the fish trap though. When they weave it, that part I don't know how to do.
Wait, so you can skin and butcher an animal too?
Just fish. I don't know how to skin like
That shit looks.
large l- cattle and all that. Like, I wouldn't know
I
what
don't
the
think I
fuck
would
to
want
do
to
with
eat
it.
it, but at the end, like I think
Maybe
I
not
could
the.
push through and do the skinning and the chopping up, but I don't know if I'd be hungry after. But then again, you'd be starving. So
You be starving. You
right.
be starving. Because I be seeing people like watched a couple episodes of Alone when they caught the fish and they just ate it raw, like just. And I was like,
For real?
yeah. I mean, it's sushi. It's not like chicken. It's not like eating.
No.
It's not like eating chicken that you can like. No, I mean they would clean it and
Mhm.
gut it, and then they would just like take a bite of the fillet that they have left from that. But let me
Crazy.
go mine on this rock and heat this rock up real quick because they be doing the soup. They boil the fish. That way you can
Ugh.
get the nutrients in the broth, and you can boil the fish heads and get the nutrients from all the parts of the fish, and they eat the eyes of the fish. I'm like, nigga, I
Yeah, they
don't
be
ever
doing
want to be.
the fish heads. Yeah,
I
like
don't.
and they
I
be
don't want to
eating the
be that
organs.
trapped.
That's when I realized like you have to be willing to do anything because they be eating liver and raw fish head and all that stuff. But I was just having this conversation the other day. I feel like using one of your items on like seasoning isn't a terrible idea because everybody's just eating literally like boiled whatever.
I would beat your ass.
You would? What do
I
you
would
mean?
beat your motherfucking ass if we on naked and fresh. Nick,
What you mean? You
hold
would be
on.
you would be
Oh, you
so
on the call?
you would be you would be so
This
happy.
Pat said he would use one of his items on Naked and Afraid for seasoning. He would bring seasoning.
I feel like
I would beat his
I,
motherfucking ass.
until it was time to eat though.
Uh, we got to catch it. I know, but he was just saying like, but when we caught it,
Until it's time
yeah.
to eat. Until it's time to
Hey,
eat though.
I would beat your I pull out a fire starter or a machete or a bow and arrow or a fishing cord and hooks, and you bring out some lorries. I'm beating your ass,
But think
bro.
about it. Think about how useful that is. It will make food tolerable for our entire time there. Think about how many people just had the moose jerky and fish jerky, and they were like, "This
I'm
sucks."
thinking about how many views this episode gonna get because I'm like, this is the first fight on Naked and Afraid. I'm 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 chasing
I don't
you.
think. I think that's
You
an
better run like a
overreaction.
gazelle,
I think
nigga.
that's an,
You better run
I
like a
think,
gazelle.
I
If
think that's an
you pull out
overreaction.
lorries out of that fucking
I think that's an
cloth bag,
overreaction. I think that would be a very valuable amenity. Think about it. If we were selling equipment, I feel like that would be top tier with fishing hooks. It would be my salt seasoning salt and fishing hooks, and then like traps and all that stuff underneath. That's a legit. Because think about how many things that people bring and then it don't work out anyway. They can't even use it. Of course, I want the ghillie net and the knife and the fire and stuff like that. But at that 10th, you might swap a pan out for some seasoning. And now squirrel tastes cool, fish tastes cool, moose. What else they be catching?
you know what tastes cool when you starving? Anything, nigga. Anything with a little char on it tastes amazing when you're starving.
Have you ever
Uh,
eaten anything with zero seasoning?
yes, I have tons of white friends.
They be trying though. They be putting like 10%, 15% out of 100, which is still a little bit. Now it would be a value pack seasoning, if that helps. It'd be
No,
a
I
bigger
wouldn't.
one.
No, we can't. Oh, are you talking about like? I thought you were talking about like one of the ones like you could change the top and it's a different seasoning or something. I'm like, they don't make
I don't
those. What
think
are you
that's the
talking?
thing. No, I mean, I mean, if you want to be out there for 80 days, I would get the biggest container
Yeah,
possible.
bro.
I think that's a good. I think that's a good. I think that's a good addition or
They would
add.
not allow you to get in the back of the truck to drive you to the drop off spot. They'd be like, we can't let you go like this, big
Why
dog.
not?
I'm like, bro, you brought seasoning salt.
That'd be a first.
It would
It'd,
definitely be a first.
it'd be a
I
first.
listen. That episode is going to do crazy numbers out the gate. Out
And,
the gate.
and then you would have like scientists backing me up, like, well, salt,
Nigga,
retains
ain't no
moisture.
fucking shut.
So it's like there's probably some elements to it that like make it so that you have an advantage
Bro,
body wise.
they gotta pair you with somebody that has done it before and like is like an elite survivalist. And I want to see that person's face when you bring out the fucking seasoning salt.
I think as long as we got the main stuff covered, that would be a good addition.
You're you're bringing half of the main stuff. You're bringing half of the fire starter, the water pot, the fishing line, the bow and arrow, the machete. One of those typically doesn't come. Sometimes they give you the water pot, depending on the terrain. They'll give you
No,
that. That's a given, right?
no
But
pot. I
then
think was one of them.
that sometimes they give you that, right? But sometimes they don't. So imagine the person brings a machete. You got an opportunity to bring a pot, and you bring some lorries.
Okay, okay. So you obviously got to go with tarp, got to go with pot, got to go with fire starter, got to go with fishing hooks, got to go with the net.
You
Uh,
only get one thing to bring, Pat.
saw, huh? It's 10
They don't-
things.
no, they give you one thing. On Naked
It's
and Afraid, they give you one. Each person gets to bring one personal item.
oh, I was going with alone. No. I wouldn't bring it as my one item.
Oh, nigga, I was gonna say,
I was thinking alone rules where you get
okay,
10. You get 10.
okay.
So I was thinking, yeah, I would one item with that would be
Nigga,
crazy.
do you see the absurdity of it
No,
now?
I
I'm
get it.
thinking
No,
about
yeah.
Naked and Afraid, bro, where you get one item. And I was like, you gonna bring what, nigga?
No, bringing, I mean, honestly, 1 out of 10 is still crazy, but 1 out of 1 is insanity. No, okay. I've never seen Naked and Afraid, actually.
What?
What do they be
Oh,
bringing? What's the most common thing?
the machete, the fire starter, tarp, fishing line,
They
bow and
only get
arrow.
one of those?
So one person gets to bring one each.
And how many people are there?
Two.
Oh,
You
shit.
out there for 21
Oh,
days.
yeah, that would be
And then
crazy. That would be
people,
funny as hell.
oh,
Tarp and Laurie's.
bro, we got to do that as a sketch, bro. Have to hear embark on
Do
the
they not?
star.
No, that would be hilarious. No, I assume we had all the stuff to catch the actual food first, and then we could season it. But yeah, 1 out of 10 is crazy.
I would be so fucking mad at you, bro. I would be so fucking mad if you brought that fucking season salt out of that line cloth bag. You'd be like, I brought some seasoning. They'd be like, you brought what? I would waste it on the first day because I would have knocked that shit so far out your fucking head. And then I'll be mad on the second day when we catch something. I'll be like, God damn, shoulda. But still, dog, okay. Let's just jump into one of these topics. That's the clip right there.
That's hella funny.
Meta AI Ray-Bans glasses sending private footage of humans, I'm dumb, of people to human reviewers. So
Cool.
this is just like what happened with the Waymos when they were just brought before the Congress. So they did some Senate hearing and found out that there are people that actually drive the Waymos when, now just to be clear, when they do this stuff with the Waymos, it's typically in a situation where the Waymo is like stuck like on a parking lot or in a parking structure and it can't get out. That's typically when the human interaction and the autonomy merge. They are not driving all the time. So I know a lot of people are like, well, how are these people driving? And their rules aren't the same as our rules and laws and all that type of stuff. They are typically not driving the whole route. there's minimum human interaction, and that's supposed to be the selling point of it. But with this whole Meta thing, Meta sold 7 million Ray-Ban AI glasses in 2025, and according to a bombshell investigation, footage captured by those glasses, people undressing, having sex, exposing bank cards is being reviewed by Meta employees in Nairobi, Kenya.
So
Meta's
random.
response: it's in the terms of service. The blurring tool meant to protect identities. Workers say it fails constantly. One contractor said it best. You think that if they knew about the extent of the data collection, no one would dare use the glasses.
I mean, shit. I didn't even I have the glasses. I never thought to shoot. I never shot. I never thought to shoot porn like that. That's genius.
It's a different POV, my boy.
That is genius. You got both hands. That was the
I
main
got both.
problem with the POV in the first place. It was intrusive. You were like this to them, but you just got the glasses on with a little flash.
Right? Or you're not looking through the camera, because if you're smashing and you film through the camera, you need to be looking through the camera. You know, some people be
Mm-hmm.
smashing, they still be looking like this. Gotta look through this. It's like when you film a fight. The best
Yeah,
way to film a fight is looking through the phone. But with
yeah.
the glasses on, you got, you know what I'm saying, the use of both arms, all the extremities. You know what
The only
I'm saying? You
problem is you'll see it'll be like off to this. You got to
can
be like this to see
no, yeah, you
everything.
gotta be like this. You
Which sucks. I hate that. You gonna see some beautiful titties, and then they're gonna be kind of off camera, and you're gonna be looking at the footage like, damn, it's
you would
trash.
look at the footage and be like, I didn't even get there. You can't even see, but it stops at her belly button. It
It's
don't even
gonna be the smoke alarm and half of her head.
you gotta wear them around your neck so the sensor still catches something.
They need to fix that. I saw some Meta glasses. They were like Oakleys. This
Hmm.
black, and there was a black dude wearing them, but the camera was right in the middle. And I was like, why aren't they
Wait,
all
what?
like that?
Really? I didn't even know that
Yeah.
was a design. Maybe those are one-offs, or like some dupe or something like that, or another brand
Yeah,
that just.
but
But
it
yeah,
makes perfect sense because the off to the right ain't it.
yeah. Hey man, what you over there eating? Are you just eating raw potatoes? That looks like raw potatoes. Are those raw russet potatoes?
There's grapes. Oh, in the bowl. Oh, this mangoes and grapes.
Okay, okay.
That would be
God,
crazy. Like
oh,
what
man.
caveman diet is that?
Hey man, listen, I don't judge. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't bring seasoning salt to Naked and Afraid. Hey man, you got free.
As the
You
one
got free.
item is that is insane.
Bro, I thought you were insane. I thought you were insane saying that. Um, let's go with this one good one. So you guys, you've been with us for a while. You know the video we've done on Dr. Love, the kid that was pretending to be a doctor, got arrested, got out, started another, kept starting doctor offices. Well, we got someone who may have been able to work in his office
Nurse lady.
because there was a fake nurse that treats 4,000 plus patients who just got caught. 29-year-old woman worked as a fake nurse for over 7 months. She's treated over 4,000 patients and was only caught after she was offered a promotion.
Ah,
Autumn Bardisi began working in Florida in 2023 after allegedly using fraudulent credentials to obtain a job. Investigators say she used another nurse's license number and worked as if she was a registered nurse. Authorities later determined that during her time at the hospital, she was involved in the care of around 4,486
Jesus.
patients. The deception reportedly came to light in 2025 when the hospital reviewed her credentials during a promotion process and discovered that the nursing license number she had provided actually belonged to someone else. Following the investigation, Bardisa was arrested in 2025 and charged with practicing healthcare without a license and identity related offenses.
But was she good though? You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you can scam yourself into a position and you're good at it, it'd be like, like you should just, kind of be like, you got us, kind of like
Hmm.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Like if you learned,
Right.
if she was just
Catch me if you can.
yeah, if she was just treating these people and giving them the stuff that ChatGPT tells you to do,
Right.
and
Or maybe like she was coming from the whole holistic side of it. She wasn't like giving medicine or anything like this, but she had a
mm,
gentle spirit, you know what I'm saying, that brought people. calmness and put them at ease. So when the doctor came in and they delivered bad news, they were in a better space to receive it. So
Mhm.
if she was doing that, you know what I'm saying? Let Shorty live. Let Amanda live. She out here doing the Lord's
Yeah.
work. You
But
know what I
also,
mean?
like, what is the gatekeeping process in medicine? Because it seems really easy. It seems really easy to do this. So,
Yes.
like, between the actual gatekeeping of starting this and keeping it up, can anyone do this at this point?
Bro, you know what's crazy is like when we had the stories about the kid that kept doing it. I'm like, how is he renting this place and outfitting it as a doctor's office and nobody's questioning it? But I mean, all the dentist offices and one-off doctor's offices that I pass by, I never question it. I don't go to them, but I never question
Yeah,
like, I wonder if they're credential holding offices right here. Like you just assume that they are because they have the space. But my
that is
thing is
true
like she
though.
was able to use someone else's credentials. There's no like CODIS for nurses. Like
Mhm.
there's like, if my DNA is entered into a system and then it's a hit for something else. Like there's no checks and balances. Like when it
I
comes to the nurses' credentials and doctors' credentials.
thought it was way harder. That's like, I mean, that's kind of like the same level as like if I was just a cop tomorrow and I was just
Yeah.
walking around doing police shit and on my radio and I got caught like for years later. Like I thought that process was very official to do that. Now I'm kind of side eyeing almost every everything involving medicine. I'm side eyeing because like you ever seen those like plazas that are usually like food and
Yes,
hair
that's what I'm
salons,
saying. Yeah, and then it'd
and
be
then they'll
one
be like
random.
right, and it'll just say dentist. It's not even like a doctor's name or something. It's just
Yeah,
dentist.
you got to
Yeah,
go in and actually see their license. Actually see the license, and then just Google it right away just to make sure that person come up. That's the only way to save yourself at this point because I don't
yeah.
know what's happening right now.
So many
Go
people
in
are
there.
faking it till they make it on a business level. It's crazy.
That's not good, people. Let's try something else.
Damn.
uh, this one is for the vloggers out there. All of my influencers, man, be careful because this food vlogger died after eating a poisonous devil crab. I don't even know what that is. That's why I don't
Devil
fucking.
crab.
That's why I don't be fucking with the seafood like that, man.
Devil crab.
Yeah. So food vlogger has passed away after eating a toxic devil crab for content. Emma Amit was a 51-year-old Filipino food content creator known for sharing seafood, foraging, and
Oh.
cooking videos from her seaside home. And on February 4th, 2026, she filmed herself gathering shellfish and crabs and eating what she later learned was a poisonous species known as the devil crab. The crab's flesh contains powerful heat-resistant neurotoxins that can cause paralysis and respiratory failure. Her death was sparked or has sparked warnings from local officials about the dangers of consuming unfamiliar wildlife, especially for online content.
That's really sad. I originally thought it was going to be like from a business, but I mean that's the thing with foraging. Like that's super sad. But this happens with mushrooms a lot. Like people go out
Yeah.
there kind of uninformed and they think it's something else, or it might look like a different species and it's poisonous. So I mean that kind of come with it. She's it says she was foraging crabs and all types of stuff from her.
Shellfish.
Yeah. And she said that she didn't know what it well, not she said, but like she didn't know what it was. She didn't know it was a poisonous species, right? It wasn't like just radiation or
Oh
something.
wow. Yeah.
That okay, that shit kind of looked poisonous. I'm not even gonna lie.
He kind of strapped up.
He
You know what I'm
looked
saying?
that looked poisonous. Damn.
Yeah.
So wait, how she upload the video?
She probably was already live streaming it.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's bad. That looks that that was actually the most poisonous looking crab I've ever seen. Shit.
I
Must
can't. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
What
I
we
need
finna say? What we finna say about a mukbang? What we finna say?
I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was just
No,
gonna
no,
say
no.
rest. I was
You
gonna say
queued it
rest in
up.
peace.
You,
Rest
you,
in
you,
peace.
you queued it up, and then you kind of stopped. I was just trying to.
Rest in peace to the fallen. That's what I was gonna say. You can't just be eating shit. Yeah, you can't just be eating shit. I would never recommend that to a content creator.
Yeah, you can't. You got to be careful out there, man.
I will never be the first review on something.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not the first reviewer on, and Pat has tried it. A couple of my friends have tried it. A lot of you all have tried it, and that's IndaCloud. Okay, when you're having a stressful day, you've had a long day, you're having a long week. Um, March Madness is coming up. You know what I'm saying? You might be, you know what I'm saying, out here hanging with your friends, getting very involved, very energetic about this game. You expel a lot of energy in it and get home, you need to relax. Well, let me tell you what you need to do. You need to get within the cloud, okay? It is a fully legal online cannabis dispensary with gummies, exotic flower, premium pre-rolls, and zero sugar THC sodas. It is a clean, alcohol-free way to unwind without turning one good decision into three questionable ones. And you guys know what I mean. You know what I mean? You done done other things where you might have partied a little hard. Now you texting somebody late night, you checking on them, you trying to figure out what's going on, what's new. No, we not doing that. We're not doing that over here with IndaCloud. Everything is federally legal hemp THC, lab tested, and shipped discreetly to your door, which is helpful because this season already has enough moving parts. It's a lot going on, guys. Let's just keep it real. Every day we wake up, we finding out something else is happening. And I'm be honest with you, I'm about sick of it. I appreciate In the Cloud for being a vehicle for relief for your boy. So if you're 21 or older, get 35% off your first order plus free shipping at In the Cloud with code DIYS at IndaCloud.co. Again, you use the code DIYS at IndaCloud.co. Again, that's if you're 21 and older, you get 35% off your first order plus free shipping with the code DIYS at IndaCloud.co. The semicolon thing always throws me off.
Yeah, okay, colon is just straight up two dots.
Two dots. That's what that was. Semicolon is the dot and the.
So I'll raise you this. When when is the best time to use a semicolon? I get the colon. I use it all the time.
Uh-huh.
Semicolon is like, here's a word. Now I'm about to explain what that word is, or
I thought the colon was the explanation of it, and the semicolon was more elaborating on the previous statement that you had made.
uh-oh.
Okay.
I saw conjunctive and
To connect two closely related independent clauses, complete sentences without a coordinating conjunction to separate complex items in a list that already contain commas or to join independently. Okay. Yeah.
I'm more confused. To connect two closely related independent clauses.
Without a conjunction verb like however or therefore. It acts as a stronger pause than a comma, but weaker than a period.
I like that
Stronger
last
than
bit.
a period. Yeah, stronger than a comma,
That made so much sense.
but weaker than a period.
Stronger than a comma, weaker than a period. And we're just talking about semicolon, right?
I think so. That's a semicolon,
Okay.
right, Hippie? I think that's what that was.
What part of school is that?
English, English, writing, literature, all of that. That would be under grammar, English, literature. It should all come in there. You
Punctuation,
should
right?
punctuate. Yeah, you should learn all of that. Probably like in. I mean, you learned the top five period, comma, exclamation point, question mark, all that. You learn all of that in like middle school. I mean, grammar school. But you start getting more into the punctuation with the semicolon, the colon.
Do you know when to
Um,
use do you know when to use brackets when it's not math?
when I was growing up, you could use it. I felt like you could use it in the same place you would use a comma. Like if you're like, we went to comma, fudgery, comma, chocolate store,
Fudgery.
and the fudgery. You know the fudgery?
Uh-uh.
Never
What's
heard
the
of the fudgery?
what's the fudgery? This place sounds
Well, there.
magical.
Well, it's kind of like they had the Fudgery, they had Chocolate Mountain, but the Fudgery in St. Louis, and I was just somewhere where they had a Fudgery at. Where was I walking around?
Is
Might
this
have been Columbus.
is this a candy store or an amusement
Yeah,
park?
they no, it's a candy store where they make the chocolate in store, and they'll like the Fudgery that I used to go to in St. Louis. They would be singing, so they had like some of the best singers, and they would all be
What do
singing. They have
you
you
mean?
sing along, bro, because
The
they would be
workers?
putting on the show. Yes, they be putting on the show. They be chopping up the chocolate, like they mixing it together. You see them mix it together, and
For
they'll take
real?
like the spatula, and they would do like tricks with it, like make an arch with it. They make waves with it when they got it like the right consistency, bro. It's a whole thing. Then they give out free samples, and then they would get people to buy the chocolate that they have available. But they would make it so engaging. So they would get it was like a tourist trap. It was definitely a tourist trap. But they would be singing they ass off, bro. It was crazy. It was a show that I would go get every day because I would walk through Union Station in St.
Every
Louis to get
day?
to, I would catch a bus down in Union Station, and then I would walk through Union Station to catch the Metro Link. While walking through Union Station, there was a place called the Fudgery. And the Fudgery, they used to, this is the place that I gotta find some
Was it
footage for you.
was it a big location or was it like a little shop?
It was like a storefront. So it wasn't like the cart. They actually had a storefront. Like you walk up
Mhm.
to the counter and you place your order. There would be somebody out front. They would come and start singing and get people to build a crowd, and then they would come in, and that's how they would get, bro. The Fudgery was a whole
Oh, so
thing.
what were they selling? Like chocolate bars or
Like bricks of chocolate. You can get cut into small pieces. They would do it by the weight. So you get like a pound, half a pound, quarter pound. And they had two different types like chocolate. They had fudge, they had white chocolate, they had like caramel and chocolate, butterscotch and stuff. And they had some with nuts and some without nuts. It was all types of candy, bro.
and is this a chain? Did you think this was like
I don't let me
everywhere
see. I don't know. Let me
or
see
is
if
this
I can look it up.
specific to St. Louis?
I literally just saw another
Fudgery.
place called the Fudgery. Yes, was it yesterday? I don't know if it was yesterday or Sunday when I was in whatchamacallit. Saint,
It literally sounds like movie-esque. Like it sounds like it's from a
bro, it really
fantasy
was.
movie.
If you had never seen them before, you would. Let's
Like
see.
Willy Wonka with Tim
Yeah.
Chalamet, where everybody was singing.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Might be able to do this one. Let's see. Let me turn the Bluetooth off so I can play this one. Oh my God, they got it. Okay, okay. Here we go.
You recorded this?
Now this on YouTube.
Damn.
This ain't a good one. I was gonna sing it like that. But
Hey, first of
that's
all,
that.
that's so much blacker than I thought. I don't know why I just thought white people with fudge and musicals and stuff.
No, bro.
I
This
thought it was like Christmas carols. Those they were doing runs and everything.
the Fudgery at St. Louis Union Station. They be checking their ass too.
Is he making fudge?
Mm-hmm. See.
Black people singing and making fudge is hilariously wholesome. That's so
It's
wholesome.
they're like that arch.
I just realized I don't know how fudge is made because I don't know what he's doing. That shit looks like he's just smearing pizza sauce everywhere.
Yeah.
This went from a funny story to something I'm actually like intrigued about. Like,
Bro, they
that looks cool as hell.
they would be
I want to see a comedy series like The Office, but niggas is working at the fudgery.
bro, it was so good. And it was always a crowd around because people would like literally People go on dates to Union Station. They had an arcade, go to the arcade, get something to eat upstairs at the food court, and then you would just hang around 30 minutes and watch the show. In 30
Mhm.
minutes, you might see two shows, and you see people singing, and I'm talking about they singing like Jermaine Dupri finna walk through. They be putting it all out there because they would get people for the church singing and stuff like that. They would do remixes to songs and stuff like. It was a good time, bro. It was.
I
I ain't thought about this in years. That's crazy.
I
It was a
definitely
good time.
didn't think it was like church singing. That makes it so much cooler. I thought it was like musical, like Charlie and the
Nah,
Chocolate Factory type of thing.
nah, man, it was crazy, bro. It was. What a time to be alive, bro. What a
The
time to be alive.
Fudgery, Ice Cube, get on it, man. We need a movie called The Fudgery.
Low key, it would slap though.
That
Low
sounds like an ice.
key.
That sounds like an Ice Cube production.
All
1000%. Sure, Ice Cube
right,
doesn't
let's
watch
get
that
one
shit.
more story before we get up out of here, man. And we get up out of here. All right, come on, let's go with this last little story right here. All right, let's go with and I like the emojis on the stories, hippie. That's a good little thing. Kind of give us a idea of what's going on right there.
That's a hippie.
Um, ooh, no, 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 not that one, not that one. We might as well move that rock one out of there. Okay, people paying $200,000 to freeze their bodies,
Jeez.
hoping to be revived. This is straight out of um, what's that? What's the cartoon? Will they be in the spaceship where Fry got frozen in the cryo stage?
Oh, you talking about Futurama?
Futurama. This is
Yeah,
straight out
yeah,
of
yeah.
Futurama right here. As of 2026, the number of people in cry, cryo,
Cryostasis.
cryostasis,
Mm.
cryostasis. Ah, yeah, I just made something up. The number of people in cryostasis, the state of being legally dead but biologically preserved in liquid nitrogen, has grown to approximately 500 individuals worldwide. They paid up to $200,000 to freeze their bodies. Some froze only their heads.
Oh
They
my
believe future
god.
technology will bring them back to life.
What what do they think is going to happen where you just need to freeze the head? What was that, a discount deal? Like, yeah, just freeze my head. I can't afford the whole thing.
That's the Futurama shit, bro.
Maybe
Because
they didn't like
remember a
their
couple of
body.
the presidents was that they had their head in the drawers in Futurama.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, that's a play on the Disney rumor that Disney's head is frozen.
Oh shit,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I don't know. I don't trust people like that. Like, first of all, what do they expect? Like 1,000 years, 2,000 years? Like, who's gonna take care of you for that long?
That's my thing is like if God forbid this world war takes a turn for the worse. Where are these warehouses that are housing these bodies? And what was to happen if one of these bodies got hit with something?
Or if the threat was close enough where the employees fled. Because I think that we a minute ago on the show we talked about another company that did this, but
Hmm.
their remember it was like something with their AC and all of and everything melted. Like the warehouse's AC went out and it was like a heat wave. So everybody who paid for that pretty much like
That
yeah, it's like having meat in the freezer that spoils. So now you frozen wet and not refrigerated, so you might even come back worse than when you were here.
hey, that's all bad, bro.
Nah, I
That's
can't
all bad. Yeah, nah, miss me
trusting
with that one.
humans for this. If it was like something where we were like put in a cell on like a matrix shelf that was just in this place for forever, that might be something. But these are just Amazon warehouses randomly.
Right. Cryostasis. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Cryostasis. Bodies are primarily held at specialized facilities in the United States and abroad. The largest Alcor Life Extension Foundation is in Scottsdale, Arizona, one of the hottest places in the fucking states. Okay.
Right?
Holds around 200 people in liquid nitrogen tanks known as doors. Other major locations include Cryonics Institute in Michigan. All right, that makes sense because it'd be cold as fuck over there. And firms like CryoRus in Russia and
Yeah, that's what I would
Tomorrow
do.
Bio in Berlin.
I would trust
Yeah.
Russians on paper. I don't know how they feel about black people. They might just unplug me. But I feel like in terms of like a lifelong, centuries old building that's never touched and just has frozen people in a cold ass place, I would
Yeah.
trust I would trust Russians. If I was
Yeah.
white, which is really the only way I would consider something like this, I would go with the Russian. But man, cremation is so much cheaper.
Yeah, bro. I'm done. I don't need to be say, bro. Just get me out of here. I had a good time. I was here.
Now, if you
Oh,
can
literally.
download me onto like a hard drive or something,
Yeah.
and then I
You,
die naturally, and then you just happen to re-upload me later, I'm cool with that.
but when they re-upload you, you would be a droid though.
It would just be something that acts like me. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't actually be you. I want to, yeah, because I don't think they'd be able to get your consciousness. It'd just be like your character traits, right?
Yeah. I don't want to wake up after that long too. Imagine how think about how old we feel now with like music and all that shit. Like you wake up in the year 4050, you gonna be like, bro, just put me back, put me
Bro,
back to sleep. What the
what if
fuck
they
is
wake
going on?
you up, but it's not even humans? Like human civilization has been wiped out, and aliens traveling throughout space happen to find it, and they have the technology to thaw you out, and they be like, hmm, pets.
Yep. Now that's crazy. Now you paid $200,000 to be tortured for the rest of your life on an experimental bed. Like, what's this? A
Bro, the
penis rip.
motherfuckers
You're like, ah, my dick.
treat you like a GI Joe. That's crazy. Oh man. All right, man. Listen, we're about to get up out of here. Hope you guys like we actually, you know what? We'll talk on the next episode after this. But we yeah, yeah. Anyway, as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm to hear more.
I'm Patrick Cloud.
And we'll see you next week on another episode of Damn Internet, you scary. Peace,
Bye, guys.
guys.